This video is going to be long. It's very important to watch this video from the beginning to the end because you're going to learn a lot. Please don't ask me how to plan a menu. See your dietitian. That's what we're here for. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. It felt so good to say that. Today I am going to be checking my random blood glucose level, and I like to do it with you. If you haven't watched my previous video, do not forget to watch it, like, subscribe and turn on your notifications. Okay, let's dive right into this video. So today I'm going to be talking about blood glucose level, how important it is to check your blood glucose level. I recently purchased my Sinocare glucometer. I just took out some of the equipment and this is what it looks like. Oops! You have the test strip, glucometer itself, Lancet carrier, and you have the Lancet, and of course the battery as well. I'm going to be testing myself in front of the camera today. Before then, I am going to be telling you about diabetes and your blood glucose. Diabetes is a condition that everyone tries to run away from and thinks it's deadly. People have lived with diabetes for years. People have effectively managed this for years. I met a patient that was able to manage this condition for over 50 years. If you have diabetes, you can live happily with it. All you need to do is take your oral hypoglycemic drugs and eat well, eat as you should, and you're just going to be great. Okay, I'm going to be explaining this as simply as I can so you understand. Diabetes is a disease in which the body's ability to respond or produce insulin is impaired. Now, it is not some people's fault that their pancreas are not able to produce insulin. There are two types of diabetes. There's the type 1 diabetes called the insulin-dependent diabetes, and there's the type 2 diabetes that's called the non-insulin dependent diabetes. Now, for type 1 diabetes, which is insulin dependent, in this case, the pancreas are not able to produce insulin. So what happens in this case is that the body requires insulin from an external source, meaning you have to inject yourself every now and then with insulin so your body is able to control your blood glucose level properly. For type 2 diabetes, also known as the non-insulin dependent diabetes, in this case the cells could just wake up one day and decide to be, resistant to insulin. Yes, the pancreas produces insulin quite alright, but the cells become resistant to this insulin. This may not happen overnight, it could happen over a period of time. The pancreas may also not be able to produce sufficient insulin required for the body's optimal performance. Now, I'm sure you can tell the difference between type 1 diabetes, which is also known as the juvenile onset diabetes, meaning it's usually found in children, and then the type 2 diabetes that is usually found in adults. Now, I'm going to be moving on to normal ranges, the range within which your blood glucose level should be. In this glucometer, I had this indicator card that shows you the normal, borderline high range and the dangerous range. The blood glucose level reading is usually read in millimole per liter or in milligram per deciliter. When your blood glucose level is very low, at that point you could be referred to as hypoglycemic. Now, some of the symptoms people have of diabetes include excessive urination, excessive hunger, and excessive thirst, you always want to drink water every time you drink it. There was a time I was at home and I always had like a bottle of water or a sachet of water at my bedside. Like I'm always drinking. My mom was like, how many times do you drink water in a day? I'm like, I don't know, I'm always thirsty. I wake up at night like 3 to 4 times to drink water. Now, if you have that, that doesn't mean you have diabetes, okay? You just have to check your blood sugar. It may not be that, it may just be like your body actually needs that water at that point in time, or maybe the weather is just like really hot and you actually need to keep on drinking water. Don't forget to take your water. Drinking water is very, very important. So other symptoms include weight loss and dizziness. So now I've listed the symptoms of diabetes. Before we move to the management of diabetes, I'm just going to run my random blood glucose test. The last time I ran this test, I wasted the strip and I wasn't happy because there are 25 strips here and it's expensive. It's really expensive. I think it's like 5k or thereabout just for 25 strips, or 50. I'm not quite sure. But yeah, I'm trying to make sure that today it goes very, very well. So you all are going to be watching me prick myself today. So this is the glucometer. I'm going to insert the batteries right now. Okay, so now I have my glucometer, my lancet. This is what you use to prick yourself. There's the lancet carrier. I don't really like using this lancet carrier, so I'm not going to use it. I'm just going to try to prick myself without it. I have a cotton wool here. Dip it in methylated spirit. Make sure that you've brought out your strip. This is what you use to take the reading. Now, I may not have mentioned this, but there's the fasting blood glucose level and then the random blood glucose level. Now, the fasting blood glucose level, usually whenever you want to run a blood glucose test and they say it's fasting blood, you are not supposed to eat before you run that test. Sometimes they tell you make sure you don't eat after 8 p.m. the previous day, and then you come around 8 a.m. the next day or 7 a.m. so you can run the test. That is when you run a fasting blood glucose level. Whereas the random glucose level test is taken after you've eaten. You also have the 2-hour postprandial test, which could be taken, let's say, like 2 hours later to monitor patients who have either pre-diabetes or diabetes. I have my strip right here, okay? So I'm gonna be inserting the strip. It's supposed to go in where this arrow is. The mistake I made last time was I inserted it into the charging spot. Stupid, right? I had absolutely no idea. I was like, oh my god, so I've wasted my strip. Why isn't it working? You know, it was so annoying. So I got through the manual and then I found out that you were supposed to, I mean, like, how did I not see this arrow here? Anywho, you're supposed to insert it like this. You're not supposed to malhandle it. So this goes right in here. Good. See, did you hear that loud beep? Shows it's ready and waiting for the blood. As you can see, the blood sign. All we need to do now is to prick. I'm so scared. I'm very scared. It's like I really don't have the guts. Imagine pricking yourself. It's like you're harming yourself, and that's not normal, right? But 1, 2, 3, go. Oh, this is going to be so hard. Viewers' discretion, please. Ouch, I did it. Oh my god, look at that blood. So you're just gonna clean off the first blood that comes out. Okay, if you're testing. And then you press again. See, I pressed again. So I'm just gonna make sure it touches the end part of the strip. Boom. Good. It's reading 543. 3, 2, 1. Oh. It's 4.3 millimole per liter. This means this is normal for fasting blood. Imagine this being my random blood glucose. It means I need to have, okay, I'm just gonna clean this. It means I need to eat food ASAP, which is crazy because I think I had lunch at I'd say 1:30 p.m. today. I think I had something later on as well. So this is crazy. But my mom is gonna be like, you're not eating. I told you, eat food, eat food. You won't hear. So once you do this, guys, you've gotten your reading, you note it down somewhere, 4.3 millimole per liter. Remember I told you if you want to convert milligram per deciliter, all you have to do is multiply by 18 and you're good. So once you're done, what you want to do is take out the strip. It goes off, saves your battery, discard the cotton ball as well, discard the lancet used. You do not want to keep this close to children. So yeah, I didn't use my lancet carry. I hope I taught someone how to check their blood glucose level today. I could go till tomorrow without checking my blood glucose level, and then tomorrow it'd be so low I would feel like really dizzy. What people don't know. So here I was talking about how hypoglycemia is actually worse than hyperglycemia. Hypoglycemia is when you don't have sufficient blood glucose, and then hyperglycemia is when your blood glucose is excessive. So when you have hypoglycemia, your body could go into a state of shock and your heart could be affected and you could have cardiac arrest, and that's just the end of it. But when you have hypoglycemia, it could be effectively managed by, drugs and, diet. Like if you want to manage your diabetes, very important to lose weight, you would be able to manage it. 0.3 falls within the normal range according to this indicator. The normal for fasting is 72 to 99 milligrams per deciliter. If you want to find it in millimole per liter, just divide by 18 and you'll be able to find it. I'm gonna zip this up. Zipped up. I'm glad I didn't waste the strip today. Done, all done. So all you need to do is trash this down and return and keep properly. Don't keep it close to kids, just keep it well. I'm going to be talking about people who are usually at risk. People who are over the age of 45 will be at risk. I'm not saying if you're over 45, you're predestined to have diabetes. No, the tendency to have diabetes, if you do not watch what you eat, your lifestyle, eating habits, the tendency to have diabetes or hypertension, it's high. If you have a BMI of like less than 25, normal BMI range is 18.5 to 24.9. If it's greater than 25, it means overweight, you're obese. It means you need to find out what's wrong. You're not eating right. Something is going on. See your doctor, see your dietitian. Your dietitians are here for you. That's why they exist. They can counsel you and give you the right information that you need. People that could be at risk are people with high blood pressure, who are hypertensive, people who have hypercholesterolemia or hyperlipidemia, high levels of low density lipoprotein in the blood. In layman terms, okay, bad lipids, bad lipid profile, bad fat. I'm just gonna say that, all right? People who live sedentary lifestyles, yeah, people who just go to work, stay in an AC office, stay for 8-10 hours, and then they leave, they go home, they sleep, they eat, they don't exercise, they barely do anything. Those people, tendency to have diabetes may be high for them. And it also depends on your body's metabolics. And there are people who do that and they don't even gain weight. All right, so it just depends on your body's metabolism. Anything could predispose any individual to any condition. So it boils down to your age, your sex, if the condition is hereditary. There are a lot of things that could predispose one. And then we have women with gestational gestational diabetes. Now, when I was working in a hospital, right, when we attend to patients, when we see women who have GD, also known as gestational diabetes, we let them know that you have to make sure you eat well even after you give birth to this child, okay? Because if you do not, there's every possibility that you could slip into pre-diabetes and then you have diabetes. So healthy eating during pregnancy in the women with gestational diabetes is very, very important, but I'm not going to be dwelling on that. Finally, the time has come. I'm going to talk about what I'm here for, and I'm going to be talking about the management of diabetes. You tell a patient to see a dietitian, right? And then the patient tells you, what am I seeing a dietitian for? I'm taking my drugs, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, I think I'm eating enough, I don't need to see a dietitian. So you hear stuff like that from patients. But then it is now your responsibility as a dietitian to sit this patient down. As a medical professional, it's very, very important to refer patients to dietitians who are professionals in this, to handle this patient, counsel the patient, and let them know this is what you have to do. So the first thing I'm going to tell you, if you have diabetes, if you have been confirmed as being a diabetic patient, please see a dietitian, okay? Dietitian, I'm going to spell it, I'm going to put it somewhere here or here. D-I-E-T-I-T-I-A-N or C-I-A-N. See a dietitian. So the dietitian can put you through. If the person has to draft a menu plan for you, plan a menu for you, good and fine. The importance of a dietitian in this case cannot be underemphasized. Please see your dietitian. I told you, people's systems vary. You may prescribe this for this person and it won't work, but you prescribe it for another person and it works. I remember when a dietitian prescribed some foods to a patient and the patient was like, this doesn't work for me, and it usually works for other patients, okay? Like, this doesn't work, and then you now have to, find your way around it. Oh, that is a dietitian's work. Do not go googling, oh, foods for diabetes, good for them. Don't do that, because you're just going to worsen your case. Contact a dietitian and the dietitian will do his or her job. Vegetables are very, very important. It's important to eat vegetables, all right? Some patients will meet you and they'll tell you, dietitian, nurse, doctor, my friend told me I should remove akpu from my diet, I should remove curry from my diet, I should remove yam, I should remove rice, I should only eat beans. Do you know that beans contains a higher percentage of carbohydrate than it does protein? Yeah, sorry to bust your bubble, but it's actually the truth. Carbohydrates is very, very important. That's the major source of glucose for the brain. When you feed the brain of glucose, where do you expect it to get the glucose from? Of course, gluconeogenesis. Okay, so protein breaks down the protein, drags the glucose, converts it to glucose, and then, of course, the brain fat drags it to swallow. What's important is that you eat vegetable. Blood glucose control is very important. Make sure you manage it effectively. Exercise is very, very important. Now, for obese patients, you have to work out. Even if you're not obese, make sure you live an active and healthy lifestyle. Okay, you're active. Even though you don't go to the gym, you could take long walks, at least 1 hour every day. All right, it's very, very important. Or you jog if you can. For people who are hypertensive, please do not stress yourself, okay? Walking is okay. Whenever you feel like you're about to get exhausted, you pause, you rest. Once you start working on your diet, that doesn't mean you should abandon your drugs. Please keep taking your drugs, keep taking your foods, your fruits, and your vegetables, most importantly, and your good. And diabetes isn't written on the face. You can even live longer than a human being that doesn't have diabetes. And of course, with God's intervention, diabetes is not a death sentence. It can be effectively managed. Thank you for listening. Thank you for doing this with me. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comment section below. Thank God today I don't have to apologize for any sounds in the background. It's very quiet today. The weather is lovely. It's kind of sunny and I'm sweating a little, but I'm all good. Thank you for coming to my channel. Please do not forget to subscribe, to like, and turn on your notifications. Thank you so much for watching, and I will be seeing you in my next video.